All right, on the bench today, I have another 4R70W. This one's out of a E250, E350 van. Slipping, definitely not shifting correctly. Fluid has a burnt odor to it. So let's dive into this one here and see what's going on. Does not smell good. Need to get like some smell-o-vision or something so you guys can smell what I'm smelling. Look at that. I'm expecting this pan to be black on the bottom because something's toasted in there. There it is. Yeah. Smells like liquid fire. I think this was a 2000 late model. It's got to be 12 or 13 model, late style, because it's got the soft harness. It was funny, the early AODEs, which is the predecessor to the 4R70, they had soft harnesses like this, just wires. And then they went, when the 4R70 came out, it had a lead frame harness in it, just a molded plastic with, you know, the wires in it. And then after 09 they went back to the soft harness again. Why? I don't know. I don't know why they do what they do. But they did do what they did. Ooh, that wasn't very tight. Wasn't tight either. I think someone's been inside this one. I think the customer said it'd been rebuilt maybe 5 years ago. Just two that ones. I can feel it when you hit it with a gun. There should be a little bit of resistance, like a click when you hit it. And two of those, they didn't click. You know, a lot of people who are doing this, they'll grab the gun and they just run the bolts down, and they say that, I'm not going to say it's not a thing, it is a thing. They say they can hit it a certain click and it's torqued. Personally, I am not a fan of that. I do run the bolts down with the gun, but I'm going to go back with a torque wrench and finish the sequence with a torque wrench. Typically, I'm not going to tighten them with this. They just run them down snug so I can go back and torque them without having to manually run all the bolts in myself. It's a Sonex add-on. because Sonic's in it. I need that later. Third accumulator. Make a mess. Alright, I went ahead and got the overdrive servo snap ring released. Takes a special tool. I mean, it doesn't have to, but I prefer to use the tool. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4 accumulator. And the springs are here from the top side. And I noticed something strange. This bracket looks bent, and this is the electronic pressure control solenoid here. And this is how it looks. This shouldn't, if you look here, there's an O-ring out of place, pushed out, and this thing's kind of dangling there. Now, I didn't touch this. This is how it was sitting, and if you look, you can't get the EPC out without taking out the detent here, the shift detent. And this is supposed to hold the EPC in place, and it sits here like this. And to me, it looks like this was installed incorrectly. How it lasted 5 years like this, your guess is as good as mine. But that should be flush with this, and it's popped out. Maybe it bent. The bracket's been in this way, so I don't know. It looks like that's the way it was, because they don't fall out. They sit in there pretty snug, and it's just flopping now. So this bracket's supposed to sit here, but it looks like this is the wrong bracket for this EPC, because yeah, it might be right. Looks like it fits down there. I'd have to take it out and do it. Pushing the rest of it, I don't want to mess with it. I got to take this apart and get it apart. That may be that. May, the EPC helps control the pressure in the transmission, and this being as it is, you see that O-ring is just hanging off, may have, and you can see there's a bunch of stuff in there. This may have contributed to what burned up the transmission. Let's get the rest of it apart and see what's going on. This thrust washer is broken. Yep, the locating tab is broke. That means, I would bet that means the end plate was a little too tight. Probably snagged that washer and ripped it around. There's locating tab. Pump looks okay. That's the intermediate piston there. Here's the rest of that washer. pump gasket. Anti-rattle clip. It's Borg corner band, so it's black. It's seen better days. Usually they're more brown than black. Looks like some slip in there. These are the intermediate clutches. Got two segment and 2 flats. Okie dokie. Some hot spot in there. This is the reverse input drum. You see the band was slipping there. Reverse clutches. Yeah, they're in good shape. Forward drum. Let's see how our forwards look. We've only got 1 clutch left to be smoked. And that's the direct clutch. Forwards, they look alright. Nothing smoke there. The band not looking too happy, but that's not the cause of this liquid fire in here. Let's get this out. That hurt a little bit. You gotta be careful tearing these down and building these. There's a lot of like sharp machine surfaces in here, and it will cut you deep. I mean, I'm not even kidding how bad you can get cut if you're not careful. This is the one-way roller and the planetary. Bearings intact. Sometimes in these E-vans, the bearing in the planet will fail, or the planet at the direct drum will fail. That bushing looks a little rough. Here's our reverse band. It looks alright. And I think we found the smoke show. Burned to a crisp. Why? I don't know. I'm guessing that EPC had something to do with it. And this is our rear planet carrier. Ooh. Oh. Clutches are so warped that's keeping the snap ring in from coming out. Toasty. Could be something wrong with this drum. I have to take it apart the rest of the way and see, or maybe the EPC was causing issues in 3rd gear. But yeah, this clutch pack's where all this debris came from. It's toast. I mean, you can see it's coned out. See how coned that thing is? Springy. You're not supposed to do that. Nice and flat is what you want. These things are so heat treated that they got so much heat in them that they actually warped. Done. And let's check our case. Ring grooves. Okay, nothing bad back there. So I'll pull this out, get this out of here. New EPC. I think this is going to be the main culprit. It must have finally moved out of place enough to leak off pressure when he was driving down the road. and usually your direct clutches take the most heat when you start dropping line pressure. Otherwise, again, gotta go through, clean the whole thing up, get some new parts in here, check these bushings. There's some worn out bushings you can see there, some rough looking bushings, new drum, some new clutches, seals, band, go through the valve body and get her back together again. But yeah, this was definitely going into, this could have been prevented. I could probably, if this was installed correctly, this probably still be on the road, because otherwise it looked pretty decent. But that's how you have to be careful when you're putting transmissions together, is one little mistake can tear the entire thing to hell. I mean, you spend so much time cleaning things up and putting all the right parts in there, and then you make one tiny mistake and the whole thing's shot. So that's why it's so important to have attention to detail when you're working on these things, because it's mistakes that can be avoided. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm gonna get this back together and get her back on the road.